Wow. I got to tell you, I came to my first TEDx that Jong put on about 5 years ago, way out in Sai Kung area. And I had decided that one of the things I'd do while in Hong Kong was to speak at a TEDx. And I am quite happy to be here. Those of you that may have done Dragon Boat, may have not done Dragon Boat, there's one of the things that we always talk about at the sport is that you can't let anybody get in your head. Because if they get in your head, you're going to lose the race. So right now I need a volunteer, and you look nice and big. So come on up. It's all right. I promise I won't hurt you. What's your name?
Mike.
Mike. Mike, all I want you to do is which is your stronger arm?
Right.
Your right arm. All right, great. You're going to put your right arm out to the side. Here, face that way. And I want you to resist me pushing down. Make a fist, and I'm going to try to push down. Now, you really just, all right? Come on, you got it. All right, great. Now, all I'm going to do is I'm going to get in your head because I'm going to touch you.
Okay.
That's it. Now, raise your arm. Hold it up. Hold it up. Come on. One more time. Ready? As hard as you can. That's it. Thank you. I just got in your head just by touching you. And that's what I want to talk about a little bit is the connections that we have. And does your brain control your body or your body control your mind? It's important to think about just exactly what Charles was saying earlier, that you always have to be aware of what's going on up here. Bruce Lee said that, I fear not the man who's practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man that's done one kick 10,000 times. When we paddle Dragon Boat, we're doing the same thing over and over again. We are executing the same motions all of the time, whether it be for 200 meters or 500 meters. It's all about doing the same thing, training all the time for this one goal. Now, hopefully this will play. I want you to look at Michelle Y's swing. See if it plays. Oh, that's not it. There we go. Oh, that one. Could you hit play? Now, what you're going to notice whenever she swings is that it starts from the ground up. It works like a whip all the way through her body and ends up at the club head. It's a whipping motion. Starts down at the ground, not at the ball, but starts at the ground. Whenever you look at the kinesthetic sequence, you can see that you've got the ground at the bottom, her pelvis, her legs, her pelvis, thorax, and the club head. We do the same thing with paddling a dragon boat. She's practiced that same swing many, many times. A lot of times when we are paddling dragon boat, we practice so that it's perfect. Practice only makes things permanent. What our Olympic swimmer Yvette said earlier was that she trained 10,000 hours. If she trained 10,000 hours doing it wrong, what do you think? She's probably really good at doing it wrong. She probably spent 10,000 hours training how to do it the right way. And that's what's very important is practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. So whenever you're out there trying to do something, slow down. Try to get it done the right way. And once you lose focus, stop for a second, regroup. Imagine those pull-ups that you're maybe doing at the gym. And you're pulling up, and all of a sudden you try to get those last ones out. Well, you're teaching your body how to do things the wrong way, which is one of the small problems with CrossFit, as you end up just reinforcing some bad habits. Now, phases on dragon boat. This is what I was talking about. You've got a catch, driving the paddle in nice and deep. The compression, you're pulling really hard. The finish and the recovery. But this pulling part that we've got here, this compression, what you're not seeing in this is that the paddle is staying in one place. When you paddle a dragon boat, the paddle does not move. The boat moves. So if you are trying to pull really hard, all you're going to do is put water on the back chair of the guy behind you. What you have to do is plant the paddle and then you push the boat. You plant the paddle and you push the boat. That's actually what makes the boat move a lot faster. If you concentrate on that, we all know how to pull, but we always forget it's all in our legs. The legs are one of the most important things with paddling a dragon boat, is using your legs. They're some of the biggest muscles in your body. You got your glutes, and you got your legs, and you've got your lats. The arms, very small. We always want to be using our legs paddling a dragon boat. So those of you that do paddle, next time you're out there, try using your legs a little bit. When you're in the canoe, doing a kayak sometimes, try to get your legs involved and drive it forward. The kinesthetic sequence with paddling. You've got the legs. Then you finally got to add the torso, the arms, and the shoulders, and then finally the arms. You've got to make sure you use all of these parts in the correct sequence, and then the paddling will get much, much easier. All of these things go toward what we do at work. You've got to work on the small things that then help you get to the goal. One of the challenges I see in Hong Kong is everybody is task-oriented. It's all about the task. Whether or not you make it to the goal or not, I did my job. I did my task. But what if we all worked toward a goal? That's what I think is the most important. It's not whether you do your job, it's whether or not the team gets their job done. My team, I think this was at Lama. The men's team won at Stanley men's for the last 5 years. But it's all about teamwork. Teamwork, when you're paddling, is incredibly essential. You've got to all be there, be in the present moment, and work together. This is the North Shore Inline Marathon. One of the other things I do is I am an inline skating coach. Travel around the world teaching coaches how to coach coaches on inline skating. This is a race in 1998. This guy up in front right here, that's Chad Hedrick. He won 5 gold medals in over the last few Olympics. Could you hit play again, please? What I want you to notice is these people, by the way, this is 42 kilometers, 57 minutes, 2-minute, 12-second miles. Now, each of these guys, they've been training a lot together. They're working as a team. Look at that. Now, here's the chase group. They're not in time. They're not working together. In the end, these two guys behind the leader, they ended up finishing 2 minutes, no, 4 minutes behind the leaders. That would have been 2 miles after Chad passed the finish line. Chad passed at 57 minutes. Eddie crossed the line in his group at 1:01. So 4 minutes later, this group passed it because they were not working together as a team. Could you hit pause or I just advance to the next one? Now, whenever you are working as a team, maybe you can win and maybe you don't. But this is what separates the winners sometimes. This is a 1-minute race, 200 meters. 200 meters, and these two teams finished 1/1000th of a second difference. It just took a little bit of slippage. A little bit of slippage. Hit play on the next one. However, Stanley Dragon Boat this year, we're all paddling. We're working hard. This is right at the finish of the race. And then all of a sudden, we hit the finish line. We look around, and there's nobody around. That's the feeling that we want to have whenever we're paddling. And that's the feeling I always want to have whenever I'm working on an IT project. Whenever you're doing an IT project, you're always in the same boat. That's what I love about dragon boat paddling, is that everybody is working together to achieve a common goal of getting over the finish line. Sometimes it's close, sometimes it's not, but everybody's got to put in 100% effort to get over that finish line. What's interesting about paddling is that if I slack off, if we want to win, my other teammates have to work that much harder to make up for my work. So in life, at work, wherever, whenever you're not giving 100% into a project, when you're ever not giving 100% to the goal of your teams, guess who's working to make up for what you are missing? You've got to put in the effort so your team members don't, because if you slack off, they've got to paddle that much harder. With paddling, horizontal paddle angle is this way, vertical paddle angle this way. So we either have a yaw or pitch like this. If it's not perfectly vertical, if it's slightly rotated, if it's at an angle, you can just look at the numbers. It only takes a few degrees to be off, and you lose that much power. Practice only makes permanent. Focusing on perfect practice is what takes that 95% and turns it into the 100%. They say that water works really good for power a lot of times, especially if you're got a steam engine or you're wanting to make tea. The difference between making tea and powering a steam engine is 0.1 degree. At 99.9 degrees, you've got hot water and you can make tea. But you take the water up to 100 degrees and you've got steam. And with steam, you can power a train. That extra 1/10 of a degree turns something from just hot water into a lot of power. That extra 1/10 of a degree means that we win at Stanley by a boat length. Or you see that close race between our girls and somebody else. And in that case, they flip a coin. They flip a coin to see who wins, because they can't really figure it out. It's 1/1000th of a second. Our girls didn't win that race. They gave it to the other team. Good team. Now, when you look at this, when you go home, this is your superficial back line. This is about your body going all the way back to the front. You'll see those fibers running all the way down the back of your body. Also, there's a picture of your skull. Now, I don't know if you can see it or not, but right at the very back of your skull is this suboccipital cross. And what that does is that actually connects to your eyes. So a lot of times you'll be looking at your phone and then you trip. You got your eyes focused down. But if your eyes are focused up and you're looking at the world around you, you don't trip, you stumble. So tonight when you're sitting at home, you're sitting in a chair, everything's nice and quiet, take your fingers and dig them really deep back here and move your eyes. And you will feel your eyes move with your hands in the back of your head. Because where your eyes go, where your focus is where you will always end up. Would you rather stumble and keep going, or would you rather trip and fall down? It's all up to you. We need to wake up, get our eyes out of our phones, focus, and keep moving. Since this is all about masks, I love this quote because it actually helps us realize, and I added this today actually, because I think it's important. And it's one of my favorite quotes. It says, "We wait all these years to find someone who understands us, who accepts us as we are. Someone with a wizard's power to melt stone to sunlight. Who can bring us happiness in spite of trials. Who can face our dragons in the night. Who can transform us into the soul we choose to be." Just yesterday, I found that magical someone is the face we see in the mirror. It's us and our homemade masks. As Charles was saying, as a lot of our speakers have said today, who you believe you are is who you're going to be, is how everybody sees you. When I get in a dragon boat, my focus is on winning. I don't let anybody get in my head. At work, it's about getting the job done, working toward the goal of the team so that we get across together as a team. In a dragon boat, we're all in the same boat, and we're all here in Hong Kong. If you haven't joined a team, join a team. Royal Hong Kong Yacht Club is looking for teammates, right? The Royal X. It's called the X because we're a lot of ex-members from a lot of teams, because we wanted to be the best in Hong Kong, and we're working always hard to do that. Dragon boat season starts in January, 3 days a week, all the way through last month. It's when I stopped practicing. But our over 40 team is actually going to Hungary because we qualified for the club crew in Hungary for next year. Thank you very much. I hope you're having a great TEDx, and let's see what Zhong and his team has got in store for us.
Hey guys, another big hand for Gordon and the Royal X team. Thank you so much, Gordon.